Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, October 10th, right? Is that the right date? 10th? 11th. Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. I have misnamed today's live stream. Sorry about that, guys. I am a little disoriented as to the date because I just got back home from Chicago. It's weird to say back home from Chicago, but since I don't live in the city anymore, I did spend the weekend at my running buddy's place. So I was, back home, but away from home, kind of at the same time. It was kind of weird. But I'm here in Crystal Lake now, and it's time for a live stream. Welcome to everyone listening in on the podcast, on the audio-only version. Hopefully you guys are having a good run out there today. Beautiful weather here in the Chicagoland area and far suburbs. I'm not going to say that this is Chicagoland. This is kind of like way past Chicagoland, but we're in the general vicinity. And the weather is fantastic. I did hop on the bike for 75 minutes today. Felt really good out there. I didn't run Chicago like too hard. So, 26.2 is always going to be a difficult distance to cover, but felt relatively good the following day. So I thought today would be a good day to hop on the bike, and it was great. And everyone watching this on YouTube later, after the fact, welcome to you guys as well. Hopefully you had a good run and good weather for your run as well. All right, let's see who we got here in the chat. First, we got to start off with a giant cowbell. We got Will Gravel saying, yo, hope everyone had a great race in Chicago. It was just about perfect weather, and I managed an official PR in 2:34.14. Oh my goodness. Can't wait to come back next year. Such a fun weekend. That's for sure. It was definitely a lot of fun. I had such a good time. I don't think anyone had more fun than me, to be honest with you. And of course, Will, you may have had a massive PR. But I think I had the most fun. So I definitely had a good time out there running with my friend. And then, we did an almost perfect even split and had just such a great day. And I think a lot of people told me that they had massive PRs on the day. So very happy for that because, it's I don't want to say once in a lifetime weather for Chicago, but I can't remember when there was better racing weather for Chicago. And I don't know when we'll get it again. So a picture perfect day. Eliza says, hi, Co-Fam. Congrats on all of you who ran Chicago. She says, Eliza says, I do have a complaint that the coverage NBC provided was terrible. My wife recorded it for me, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So we'll see. I've heard similar from many different sources. So you're not alone. You're not alone. Sean Devlin says, hey, everyone, with the wave emoji. Congrats, all the Chicago runners. Kofuzi, your joys was infectious in that video. Loved it. Happy you and your bud had a good day. Yeah, we had such a good time out there. I tried to get the crowd riled up everywhere I could. Anytime that there was a turn, there's always just a bunch of people, and it's always weird because at times it gets a little bit quiet, even though there's so many people. And so if you're running the tangents, you're far from the people sometimes. And so what I would always do is swing wide on all those turns and just try to kind of buzz the crowd and just get everyone to make a bunch of noise. So that way we would have more energy to go through the race. And so that was kind of my big goal for the day. And it was definitely a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I've been kind of battling this sore throat and a little bit of a tickly cough for, I guess over a week now. I still have the remnants of it. I think a couple of days and I'll be all done with it. My heart rate was definitely elevated a little bit for the effort I was putting out for the marathon, but it didn't have too much of an effect, but my body certainly knows that something's not right. And so hopefully I won't be doing any coughing on the live stream today, but I don't know. The more I talk, the more itchy the throat gets. So we'll see where we end up on that. Leona says, Mike, thanks for sharing 26.2 miles of pure joy with us. Man, that was just a lot of fun to film it. And the crowds were definitely very excited all throughout the course this year. And it wasn't hard to get everyone excited. People were already excited. They just needed kind of a reason to start screaming. And so I was a very convenient reason for a lot of people. So it was definitely a team effort all the way around. Martha says, hi all, regarding Chicago, it's infuriating when you're watching live and they block the final stretch. Oh boy, that sounds pretty bad. And Dr. Josh is here. He says, what up, Co and fam? What's going on, Josh? How are you? Hopefully you're doing well. David says, what an amazing Chicago Marathon. I broke my PR that I set back in 2017 by 18 minutes and 43 seconds. Oh my goodness, David. Congratulations. What a great job. He says, Mike, it was so nice meeting you. Pizza t-shirts, amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the pictures of it, but the graphic that I had been kind of circulating around, they put that onto a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles green t-shirt so we could have that as the giveaway for the ShakeOut run. We ran from downtown at the Bean up to Lou Malnati's in Gold Coast. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's the neighborhood it's in. Gold Coast. It's on State Street. So we were up there, and then once we got there, ASICS had the place laid out for a t-shirt giveaway. There were some. I didn't. It's upstairs. I didn't bring it down with me. I should have. There was also a small number of pizza cutters. They were very small pizza cutters, but pizza cutters with the Kofuzi signature on it, so it looked kind of funny. But I'm very excited for that. And then we had the t-shirts, and then lots of pizza, salads, some pasta as well. So hopefully something that for everyone to eat, and plenty of beverages. I think I only had water the whole time there, and then some desserts as well. So it's just a lot of fun. I think we had like a total of the number that I got as an estimate was 150 in attendance. We had like 200 something people RSVP. It was wild. We had a huge group. We all met at the Bean, and just a really great day. So anyone that came out, I was really glad to have you guys there. Hopefully I was able to get a selfie with you guys because I tried to be as available as I could because I know a lot of people travel from far away. So I just had so much fun meeting everybody and having such a great time on the run. We only lost 3 people on the run. They eventually all made it to the restaurant. So I feel like that's a good number. Maybe that's a high number. I'm not sure. 2 of the people, it was so sweet. They were a father and son team. And they were like, yeah, we ended up running about 4.5 miles today. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought we had everyone with us, but I was kind of at the front of the pack because I had to kind of lead everyone. I don't think anyone knew exactly the route that was at the front, but I still think I ran like 9:15 a mile. So hopefully that was, that starts off the group slow enough so that way everyone has a chance to make it back to the finish line on time. Not the finish line, but the pizza place. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Sorry if I missed you guys in the chat, but just try to catch up with you guys in terms of what's going on, what you guys are saying right now. All right, I think we got something from, let me scroll up a little bit because it looks like we got something from David. Where'd it go? David Sachs. Let me try to find that one. All right. Well, maybe I'll just have to. All right. I'm getting closer, I think, to the David Sachs original comment. Where is it? Oh, here we go. David says, what? Oh, okay. No, we already got that one. Yeah. So that's the one that I saw earlier. Okay. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Let me keep scrolling down. Melvin Umang says, yo, what's going on, Co? What an amazing weekend in your beautiful city. Cannot thank you enough for hosting such a great ShakeOut Saturday and for the fun giveaways. Had to pass on the za till Sunday night, though. All right. Well, I hope you got some. So we had Simone from Esca Corriere, the YouTube channel, Italian gentleman, and his wife and child were also in attendance. And I was like, oh boy, have you had deep dish pizza before? He says, no, I have not. And I'm like, okay, this is what we call pizza in this town. I hope you enjoy, and I apologize in advance. And so he's like, I'm sure it'll be delicious. And so after like everyone ate, I saw his wife again, and I was like, Simone, to him, and I asked his wife, like, well, what did you guys think? She says, I think it's delicious. I just don't like that it's called pizza, but it's delicious. So I was like, that's very generous. That's a very generous way of putting it. So that was really fun. But hopefully you got some of the deep dish before you left, Melvin. Brett says, congrats, Co. Looked like a great race. It certainly was. We had such a fun time. And Martha says, we're flying to San Diego this afternoon, so I'm glad I could make the live stream. Usually fly in the morning. Wow. Safe travels, Martha. Sounds like hopefully you have some fun adventures ahead of you. All right. Kurt says, Kurt, I was able to see Kurt on Saturday as well, because I had a PW, a personal worst, but I finished. Kurt, I know you had your problems with your feet. Hopefully it wasn't too bad. And I'm happy that you were able to cross that finish line though, because I knew you weren't sure. So great job on that. Let's do, we'll get a personal W. We'll give you that. It was injury related. So I think it's a finish is a great day in those situations. Travis McCullough says, "Yo, what's going on, Cohen family? What an amazing weekend! The Chicago Marathon was unreal. It was good. It was good. I got to tell you guys though. I mean, the Chicago Marathon is always good. I'm not sure it's always this good. I mean, I think the perfect weather, just the excitement from participants, racers, volunteers, the crowd, everything was just on a high level. So, an exceptional year. A lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun." All right, Calvin Huang says, "Yo, what's going on? Chicago's awesome to watch." Awesome, Calvin, thank you. And Scott says, "Chicago PR, awesome. For me, it was absolutely amazing. Great job, Scott. Nice." Wilfredo says, "Que pasa, Capuzians? Great job on being Chicago's ambassador over the weekend." Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't want to be like, yeah, this is my race, but I do feel like, I because I showcased Chicago so much in all the videos, and I felt like, this was like my town. This is where I run, and there's a big race that's happening here, and so I kind of felt like, it's like having everyone over to your house for a big party, and so I like to treat it like I'm a host. I don't want to say like I'm like the Chicago guy, but I want everyone to feel welcome, and to the extent that I can guide people with information, helpfulness, or just a selfie, if that's useful to anyone, then I'm very happy to do it. So it was a lot of fun this weekend. I'm exhausted, but I had so much fun. Rob DeGennaro says, "It looked like a blast. Chicago Marathon is on the bucket list." Yeah, I think it's a great race. It's just I think because it's the biggest marathon major, I think, right? So because of that, I just think that like the vibe is a little bit different, and it's definitely a people's race for sure. Matt says, "Yo, Co, what's going on, Matt?" He said, "Loved your Chicago Marathon video." Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate that. Calvin says, "Co is getting spectators more excited than at Bears games." I don't know. I haven't been to a Bears game in a long time, so I won't comment on that. I'm not sure. But I guess like the Bears, I've already moved out to the suburbs. Not that I think they're going to move, but they're thinking about it or threatening it, whatever. Elizabeth D. Molina says, "Congrats, Co, and congrats to all who ran. Nice to see Emily Sisson break the American record. I wonder if she gets a special prize or bonus for this." There are bonus payouts for breaking American records, I think. I'm not sure exactly. I could refer back to the media kit because it lists like all the payout numbers, but I think that there's a bonus for American record. And so I'm sure that's helpful for her. I think as top American, she also gets, I know that there's prize money for top Americans. And so there's a hefty payout there. I'm sure that her contract in some way, there's also other financial incentives for her to do as well as when she does better than any other American has run before. So I'm sure there's that. So I'm sure it's a pretty good payday for her. But what's exciting to me is like, there's already been the talk of like, all right, well then what do we think that the American team for Paris is going to look like? It makes the Olympic trials marathon probably going to be one of the most interesting races to watch. I think that's going to be next year. Is it going to be 2023 or 2024? I think it's going to be 2024, like early in the year, I think. So it'll definitely make that race like for me, like probably one of the best races that I'm going to want to watch, especially on the women's side, because American women's marathoning is so good right now. So very excited. Adam says though about the coverage, there was camera only with the leads, no camera on Emily or Connor, just a copter shot of Emily near the end. Same thing happened to Sarah Bates and Sarah Hall last year too. So I don't know if it's like a logistics issue, like they just can't get another truck out there. Like I feel like when I watched Berlin, like all those dudes on bikes, like Bottle Klaus, like all those people, like can't we can't get a guy on a bike to like, I don't know, because I feel like, yes, I know it has to be a certain caliber of camera. It's not just like a regular. They're not taking a GoPro to be able to do this feed, but I'm like, okay, why can't we do a GoPro? And why can't we get any more bikes on the course? I don't really see that many bikes on the Chicago. Not that I would see anyway, because I run it. I don't. But when I watch the race footage, I run it and I'm not at the front. But like when I see race footage, it's not like you see bikes or mopeds or anything like that. So it's like, it's a pretty wide course. It's a very wide course. There's no part of this course that is very narrow. So there should be lots of areas where they could put in a lead truck, many lead trucks, maybe a lead moped, an electric moped would be preferable in my opinion. Electric moped with a dude on the back holding the camera. Like, that's what we need to do. And I think that there should be, I think that this sport is to the point where it should be, there's like lead men, lead women, and then like a floater, maybe a chase men's or a chase women's third car, depending on how the race is turning out, right? And then like other options, assets for potential other stories. When you've got someone trying to make the men's debut record. If they're going to the effort of flying in Galen Rupp, so that Galen Rupp could be at the finish line to congratulate Conor Mantz if Conor Mantz breaks his American men's debut record, then like maybe we should get a dude on a bike with a GoPro that can give us a live feed. Or if not a live feed, a slightly delayed feed, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like have someone like ride a bike from like, in some of the quieter miles, like mile 14 and on, and then have them stop at a tent that might have access to internet. They upload it, whatever. Like there should be, I don't know. That's what I think. I think that like maybe the demand isn't there compared to the cost, but I think that adding those things is going to be incremental compared to what the costs already are. So it's not like I don't think it should be a huge deal, but I think it would just revolutionize the way it's covered. That's my opinion on that. And Sean says, like in F1, when the leader's running away with it, cameras focus on the mid-pack battles. I know, right? Don't you want people to stay watching? Like, I'm just surprised that like, it's one thing for like, maybe there's a feed for international, but like, if there is a clear leader that's going to win, I don't know if that was the case here, but if there is, and there's an interesting battle or an interesting local story, and by local, I mean American story, then why don't we focus on that? I don't know. That's kind of what I would say. Matthias Ventus says, sounds like they have production issues that Kavosia just solved. I know I'm oversimplifying it. But like, I think that like, all right, well, if it's too complicated to do better, let's oversimplify things first and then build from there. That's kind of what I think. I don't know. Stevie 76, where's the camera for for Kufuzi? I brought it. I got it. That's where it is. Matt Legrand says, Tour de France covers multiple locations of the race, and those roads are tight and tricky. Yeah, I feel like look at Tour de France, look at the coverage that they've done for UTMB, look at what they're doing for like Western states. Like there's people that are look at what like Avarepa's doing. There's people that are innovating, and like take a peek. Hire Jam Jam as a consultant. Bring him on. You know what I mean? Like, bring him in. That's what I feel like we should do. Scott says, tell us about your choice to go with the Pro 3. So I went with the Endorphin Pro 3 because, I'm looking at the calendar and like certain races, I'm going to have to be racing in certain other shoes. And so I'm like, all right, Chicago is kind of like an open card. Since I got my own bib, and not relying on a brand to get me a bib. So I'm like, all right, so that means I can run in pretty much anything. I was thinking I was probably going to run in the Adios Pro 3 because I like that one more than the Endorphin Pro 3. But I was like, I'll probably save that for Boston because for some unknown to me reason, I don't know why, but Adidas never releases the Adios Pro 3 before Boston or the Adios Pro before Boston. I think that they should, but they never do. So So I think the Adios Pro 3 will be the most recent super shoe from Adidas. So I'll run that in Boston. Tokyo, I'll be running in an Asics shoe. CIM, I'll be running in a different shoe. That one's already like spoken for. I can't tell you about it yet, but I will tell you when I can. And New York, I'll be running in a New Balance shoe. So I'm like, all right. So then if I do want to actually run a marathon in the Endorphin Pro 3, and I do, then it's going to have to be Chicago. So that's kind of how I got there. Yeah, Martha says, I'm guessing you need to wear the New Balance in New York. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'm going to get an RC or SC Elite 3. I saw that the Believe in the Run team has all their pairs, but I'm not running with the Believe in the Run team. I'm running with another PR agent, with a PR agency, and they haven't sent me anything yet. So, but I am talking with them to try to get New Balance to throw a bagel run on Friday. Believe in the Run's already doing a shakeout run on Saturday, and I'll be going there. But there's also I'm more like, let's do something Friday. Something small. Doesn't have to be huge. Just have some bagels at the end. It'll be in the afternoon, so it'll be kind of a weird time for bagels, but we just did pizza in Chicago. I don't want to do pizza again, even though I think pizza is better in New York, but like, I think we should, like, we need another, what do I eat when I go back? I eat bagels. So, Martha says, so how'd you feel about the Indo Pro 3? I really liked it. I think it was great. I think the best thing that I could say about it is Eric Floberg. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a photographer. He has a YouTube channel, but it's not a running YouTube channel. It's a photographer's YouTube channel. And he's ended up running next to me in Chicago like multiple years in a row, apparently. And I saw him up at Grandma's in June, and he's been chasing sub 3 for a really long time now as well. And then he ran with us until about like mile 21 at Grandma's, and then he started vomiting like crazy on the side of the road. Actually, he ran away from Ben and I first, and then he started vomiting on the side of the road. So he got ahead and then paid for it. But he wore the Endorphin Pro 3 and finally got his sub 3. So I feel like it's a legit shoe. He wore the Endorphin Pro 2 for Grandma's, so he likes the Endorphin Pro. I also enjoyed it. There was a stretch of miles where it started to give me a hot spot, and I was like, oh man, this is mile 9. No, it was maybe mile 14. It was mile 14, and I'm like, this is going to be a long day if I have a hurt foot for the next 12 miles. But I was like, all right, it didn't start till like way after the 10-mile mark. Let's see where it goes. And then after like 3 miles, it went away, and I didn't feel it for the rest of the day. So I feel good about it. I'm thinking like I'm not really going to say that was the shoe's fault. It was probably something in my foot, that's not getting treated, but is somehow getting exacerbated by all these Saucony shoes. I'm not sure. Shannon says, I'm planning on Alpha Flies for marathon, but I love Prime X. Adios Pro 3 giving any similarities to it? I think so. Yeah, it's a little bit denser. It gives you that same vibe, but there's just not as much travel to everything. And so everything just feels like it's sped up a little bit, if that makes sense. So it's just like denser. It springs back a little bit quicker than the Prime X. So it doesn't quite have like the cushioning feel, but it still has cushioning to it for sure. And it has a lot of pop. So Rajkumar Raushinji says, congrats, Kofuzi. You really had a blast. Question, do you use new marathon shoes, Endorphin Pro, for example? How many miles did it have? Any thoughts if you like the shoe or use Metaspeed Sky? Do you use new shoes? So these shoes had about like 20 or 30 miles on them. So I'd say the minimum amount, it's 2022. So like racing shoes generally don't need to be broken in. And so like, you can take shoes out of the box. My only concern would be if you've never worn it before, how do you know that's something that you're going to like? So if you think it's something that you'll like maybe you really like Alpha Fly. It didn't change for like 2 years. And so like if you get a second pair of Alpha Fly, you probably don't need to like run a bunch in it before. I would at least take it out for a shakeout run just to make sure that particular pair doesn't have anything unusual about that particular pair that might cause chafing or rubbing or something like that. But usually I would recommend for people to at least take it on a marathon workout. like a big workout, so you can make sure that it suits you and that you like it. But failing that, at least make sure it doesn't give you any blisters. So that's how I goes with that. The Metaspeed Sky Plus, I still have that one. I just raced in it. Oh, I raced Falmouth in it. Had a really great time in it. It's such a good shoe. Still enjoy it very, very much. Fadi Ahmed says, "Hey Kafuzi, what's going on? Are you running the half in Naperville?" I didn't know about that. I didn't know there was a half out there. I was just taking a look at my schedule. I think there's 7 weeks between now and CIM. CIM is the race that I have a little bit circled on the calendar, but I also have New York in the meantime. So I'm trying to figure out like what my training plan is really going to look if I have 3 marathons in an 8-week period. That's kind of rough. So like what work can I really do? So like tomorrow I'll go for my first run after this marathon and see where I'm at. I'll probably need to do some longer workouts than a half marathon, but a half marathon might not be a bad idea. Because then it might make some of those like marathon miles a little bit more bearable. So we'll see. Maybe I'll take a look at it. Travis also ran in the Endorphin Pro 3s, and they seem great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like I feel like if the Endorphin Pro 3 came out like 3 years ago, I mean, it would be the best shoe on the market at the time. But a lot's happened in 3 years, so it's good. It's really good. I mean, is it top? I still have to get a pair of Alphafly 2s. I'm not particularly interested in reviewing like another pair of Vaporfly Next Percents, but I don't know. We'll see. Matt says, Danko, it's a lot of races. I can't believe your schedule is so full. Yeah, it doesn't stop. So I've decided that I'm going to try and watch Houston and not run it. I was thinking maybe I'd run a half. Definitely I wasn't going to run the full, but I'm like, no, I think I'm just going to fully spectate, and I'll just be in Houston giving out a lot of high fives, I think. Maybe chasing some of the elites around the course. That's about it. But so then I think I won't race in January. Maybe I'll do a tune-up race in February. Maybe I'll race in January if we go somewhere warm again, like last year. But I've got Tokyo in March, Boston in April. My running buddy is really excited about running. I was telling him so much about grandmas this year. He almost ran it with me this year, and he just couldn't make the schedule work. He's like, this year is like, I'm putting it on the calendar today. So he put it on we finished a marathon, and like after lunch, he's like, all right, I'm signing up for grandma's. He didn't sign up for it yet, but he's like, I'm putting it on the calendar. So I'll probably end up running that one too. And then I have some really big plans that I'm cooking up. It's going to take some planning, but we'll see. Some fun stuff. It'll be wild. It'll be a crazy year. So we'll see. Matt says, stay healthy, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I think starting this week, I think I'm going to buy some weights. I think I need to do that just to make sure I'm building enough strength to keep me healthy. So I'm going to do that. And I got to think not just 4 weeks out for New York and then another 3 or 4 weeks out to CIM. I got to think longer term. So I'm I got to get strong, Adam says that Emily Sisson ran in the SC Pacer, a prototype with a higher stack. It wasn't the SC Elite. I thought I saw it. It looked to me like it was like the Super Comp trainer, but modified SC Pacer or an SC Pacer prototype is an interesting concept. And it says, hi, Kavuzi and everybody. Love the video of the marathon, Mike. Looked like a great way to run a marathon for you. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I just had so much fun out there trying to get everyone excited. So I feel like that's a good way for anyone to run a race. Let's see. Will says, anyone have any Midwest Ring Marathon recommendations? Already thinking about the next one, LOL. Well, like I was saying, my buddy and I are planning on grandma's for next year. I know that's not exactly spring because it's June. But I think in the Midwest, marathons are kind of tough because if you're thinking about April can be snow or summer, either one. on the day, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. Usually the Springfield Marathon is a popular choice, but it was canceled last year, I think, right? And I don't think for COVID reasons. So I'm hoping that they still have an interest in that race continuing, because I do feel like a lot of Chicago people would make the trip down to Springfield for that one. But I don't know. Scott says, in case you wanted to know, I chose Alphafly version 1. I think a lot of people are picking Alphafly version 1. I think part of it is that there's so many of them that a lot of times they go on sale. So it's making it more affordable to a lot of people. But I also think that there's a lot of people that are picking it over the Alphafly 2. Kipchoge ran in the Alphafly 2. Let's see. Kira D'Amato ran in the Alphafly 1. Now, I haven't talked to her about it, but according to Believe in the Run, the reason why she wore the Alphafly 1 at Worlds was because she just didn't have enough time to train in the Alphafly 2 to see if she really would like it. But then at Falmouth, she definitely was wearing, which was weeks later, she was definitely still wearing Alphafly 1s. And I feel like a 7-mile race would be a good time to test out a shoe, see if you like it. I mean, I'm not going to question her judgment because she still won. So clearly she made the right choice. But, I think that there are some people that are just still picking version 1 or version 2. Matthias says, what? Oh, New York? Too far. Waiting for you to come down to Texas. I'll be in Texas in December. So I'll be in Texas for TRE in, it's like the week after Thanksgiving. So I'll be in Austin. So I'm not sure what we're going to do for that. I might try and piggyback off of whatever Believe in the Run does. That just makes it easier for me because I don't have to plan anything. But maybe we'll do a different shakeout of some sort. See if anyone wants to do something. So, I gotta start looking at all that stuff now, figuring out what we can do. Matt says, I can make a video. I wore the Endorphin Pro 3 for the Chicago Marathon. I'm guessing that people would be into that video. I'm sure you have tons of footage. Yeah, I don't have as much shoe footage this year as I normally do, because my goal for this year is to make sure I'm capturing as much of the crowd, not as much, but a lot of the crowd more than like running. And also I wasn't running at my marathon pace, so I'm like, I don't want it. It didn't feel like it was. I needed some, but I was like, I don't need a boatload. So I'm not sure. I think I have enough to make a video about it though. We'll see. I might. Martha says she's going to test the Edge Plus, the Metaspeed Edge Plus in CIM because it's the longer first half of the relay, and decide between that and the Endorphin Pro 3 for Boston. Oh, that's a good way to do it. That'll be a good test too, because then that'll be on a nice, it's like really downhill on that first half, and then it gets a little bit rolling before we hit the halfway point at the relay. So I think that'll be a good test for Boston. CB76 says the reason why my hotspot went away is because of the shots. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to do the math. No. The first beer that I had was in Pilsen, and that would have been around mile like 19. And by then I didn't have a hotspot anymore. Yeah, so I think it was cured by then. It was already gone by then. But I like that theory. Asiku Herbert says, it seems like you weren't seriously racing. What's your favorite marathon shoes? It's an interesting preface to a question that's a complete non sequitur. But my favorite marathon racing shoes are the Metaspeed Sky Plus. So I just like that one. It suits me really well. It's got a really nice amount of bounce. It's got a really great sense of feedback. So like something that I like about marathon shoes is when like if your foot strike is clean, you really feel like you're getting a lot out of the shoe. If it's a little sloppy, like sometimes later in the race, then you can tell that you're not getting as much out of the shoe. And I like that because then later in the race, it reminds me to like try to run as efficiently as possible so I can keep getting that benefit. The shoe's lightweight. It feels fast. I feel good in it. So I have my PR in it. So lots of good things about that shoe. So I really like that one. Fantastic says, hey, Mike, thanks for the shakeout run on Saturday. It was great chatting with people over pizza about the race and shoes, and awesome to meet you. Well, it was great to meet you too. I realized after I left that I was like, oh my goodness, I've done all this traveling and making you guys watch videos of me eating slow motion, and I didn't get any footage of me eating pizza at the shakeout in slow motion or otherwise. It was really dark in the restaurant, so I don't think it would have turned up very well either way, but I feel like I should have at least tried. I just was so busy, like saying hi to everyone and talking to people. Like Emily Heller was there. She was there with her wife, and they didn't stay for very long. So I was like, I wanted to make sure I talked to them. A lot of people kind of wanted to make sure they still got to the Expo too. So I was like, oh man, just don't feel like you have to stay for me. Cause like, I was like, I know it could be stressful, like the later in the day it gets on the day before the marathon. So there's a lot of people. So I just want to make sure I caught up with everyone. And so like, I found myself just like slamming a piece of pizza towards the end of the day. So no footage, but I have some footage from inside the restaurant. So I'm going to start working on the runner's weekend video today after the live stream. So hopefully there's enough to work with there. Scott Thatcher says, can we talk about how the Chicago Marathon swag this year from Nike was hideous? I didn't see, I saw the shirt. I was running behind a guy who was wearing the shirt for the race. And I think it's a fine shirt. It's a finisher's shirt. I think the ugliest one was that light blue one with so like CHI Chicago, that one, like the giant red blocky letters. That one was the ugliest one ever. This one I think is like, it's a shirt. It's nice. It's understated. It's not super obnoxious. So I kind of like it, but I haven't really. I still like this year. It actually came in like a plastic bag. I don't remember that happening other years, but it came like individually wrapped. And so I haven't taken out of the wrapping yet. So we'll take a look at that. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of the marathon collection from Chicago this year. I thought the colors were a little bit off. I mean, I know like they have to like predict what colors people are going to be into like a year ahead of time, and that's hard work. But like, it's tough. I wasn't liking like the earth tones, like the beiginess of like the collection. Not the free shirt that comes with the bib. My buddy and I, we didn't spend a lot of time at the Expo, and both of us, we walked by the Nike booth and we're just like, it looks nice in there, and it's like, it looks like a place where you want to go look around, maybe buy a couple of things, but then they do a good job of like making it very deceptive just how long the line to buy stuff is. So I was like, yeah, but if you try to buy stuff at the Expo at the Nike booth, they just take so long. And I'm like, I'm just not ready to do that. So my buddy's like, I was like, I'll wait for you. I wasn't interested in buying anything, but I was like, I'll wait for you. I'll go in there with you. We can go look around. He's like, no, because he had to pick up his kids later too. So I was like, yeah. He's like, probably going to take us a while. He's like, okay, never mind. But we didn't get any. You know what swag was great this year? The Tracksmith. I'll bring it down. Well, I'll put it in the race recap video that'll come out later this week. But the Tracksmith bag was like a blue color, which last year was like a undyed like canvas tote bag color. This year was like a blue color, and the color is really rich and nice. I don't think it's navy. I think it's a blue color. And then this year they gave out a banana. So we got Tracksmith bananas. I gave it to my buddy because I was like, I don't eat bananas. He's like, you want this? And he's like, yeah, I'll eat it. He looks at it and he goes, this banana's from New England? Because it said like the Tracksmith sticker on it instead of like a Chiquita banana or a Doyle or whatever. And so he's like, this banana's from New England? I'm like, the Tracksmith is from New England. The banana is not. I guess that could be a problem technically. But they're not selling these bananas. They're giving them away. Free bananas. And they gave out an issue of Meter magazine, which I already had one. And they gave out a CLA Tracksmith hat. It's really nice. It's a really incredibly nice hat. I saw a lot of people racing in it on Sunday. really good. So that I think was like the best, other than the Kofuzi pizza shirt. I think the CLA hat was a good one. I did go to the Fleet Feet thing as well, and I'll talk about this all in like the marathon recap video. I went to the Rabbit event at Fleet Feet. That was cool because they had screen printing, but it's like I felt like this was going to be the case, but it was like, well, you got to buy a shirt to get it screen printed, which makes sense. I've seen that at like LA Marathon does that too. ASICS did that, but it's hard because like some brands are giving stuff away. But I did get a new Rabbit long sleeve. It was like a bluish, like a dark blue, almost midnight or eggplanty color. I don't know, maybe it's purple. The long sleeve, nice and warm. And then I got like a custom Chicago Marathon route put on the back, like in the center, with a rabbit as kind of like you are here kind of thing. So so I'm pretty excited about that. That was fun. That was all the swag that I like either bought or got over the course of the weekend. But the Nike stuff was a little bit disappointing. But Scott says, disagree. The half zip long sleeve is very comfortable, and the sleeves are like nothing else I've seen. Oh, okay. I don't think I saw the half zip. I can't say. The image isn't popping up in my mind. Luis says, seeing you have all this fun has made me rethink of doing my state marathon on December 11th. Flat. And so I want to have as much fun as you did. I mean, going out there just enjoying the race is not like something I've ever really done. I've done that for 5Ks where I'm like, I'm just not going to kill myself today. And I do have a lot of fun that way. Usually end up running hard anyway. But it's a 5K, so it's over fast. But for a marathon, usually trying to like hit some sort of goal. And so like not worrying about like trying to run faster than I've ever run in my life, that takes a lot of pressure off and it makes it very, very enjoyable. David Ernst says, knocked out my first 20 mile this morning. I'm running New York City next month and looking forward to seeing you and believe in the run at the ShakeOut. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, I have to like switch gears quick and get ready for New York. I got to do some hill work, I think. And I'm lucky there's a lot of hills nearby. There's a hill like right outside my house. We're like at the top of a hill. I feel like if I decide to run in the neighborhood, I normally don't like to run in the neighborhood because then my neighbors will see me running with a selfie stick. And that's kind of embarrassing, I guess. But if I like went for a run and then just did like a bunch of hill sprints at the end, I feel like that would be really good for me. So maybe I'll just have to do it. Dave says, congrats, Co. Love the video. So fun. I'm going to enter the lottery for next year. A member of my club achieved his goal of sub 3 hours 30 at Chicago in his 50s. He did 120 kilometers weeks for training. Awesome. Well, congratulations to your running friend. I think yesterday was a great day for running goals. A lot of people hit it. The time that my running buddy and I hit wasn't a PR for him, but we felt like that was a reasonable place for him given his training and where he's been at. He's struggling with both consistency and some injuries, which those two things tend to go hand in hand. And he was really nervous because he didn't really have any like proper long runs in. And so he was very worried about it. And I was like, we'll go whatever you want. If you tell me you want to hit this goal, I can help you hit it. If you want to back off and just chill, we could do that too. And so I was like, but until you tell me you want to just chill, I'm going to keep pushing you. And so I try not to be too annoying about it and be like, David Goggins him to death. But I was definitely points where and I didn't record all of it. I wish I should have, just because then it would have been funny to see how ridiculous I sounded. But there was points where I'm like, dude, I've been at this place where it's really hurting before. And whether you run a slow mile or a fast mile, your body's going to hurt just as much. So you might as well make it fast. Just telling them like ridiculous things like that, which I believe is true. And that's how it felt for me at Grandma's. So hopefully he didn't think it was too annoying. He said he didn't think it was too annoying. He said he appreciated it, but it might have just been nice. Matthias, when he was talking about Texas, says, "I'll drive down for the ShakeOut if you come down to Houston." I'm planning on it. I haven't booked anything yet, but I'd like to go down to Houston because I just remember sitting at home last winter and like you know, Rory Linkletter broke the Canadian half marathon record. Keir D'Amato broke the record, the marathon record there. And so I'm just like, oh, that would have been a good day to be around. So I feel like that's one I should try. That's what I should do. It says, "Co, was your running partner chuffed with his result or just dead at the end?" He was pretty excited. I didn't realize that he had given me a little like, fist shake at the end until I saw the footage later. So I felt like I was glad that I accidentally captured that on film because he's not super expressive a lot of times for that kind of thing. So he was very happy with it. He was struggling a little bit. I definitely went through the beer line twice after the race because I was just having such a good time. I was high on endorphins and just feeling great. So I slammed the first beer, and then I don't think you're supposed to, but I went back for seconds, and my buddy was like, "Yeah, you go on ahead. I'm still working on my first one." And I don't think he even finished his first one by the time we left. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. After that, we went to Tracksmith, and I bought him a beer over at the Tracksmith after party, and so he was feeling good by then. But he had found himself a seat, and they had some really comfy couches and chairs at the Tracksmith party. Not like recovery chairs, but just like like drawing room furniture kind of thing. Like a big comfy leather chair. And he sat in that and he's like, "Dude, we gotta go, or I gotta stand up, we gotta move, because if I sit here any longer, I'm gonna fall asleep." So he was comfortable, he was feeling good, and then we went and got some lunch, and then he was feeling better after that too. And then he had to go take his kid to another soccer game. So I was like, "Man, I'm gonna sit here and take a nap if that's okay." He's like, "Yeah, I would do the same." So yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day. Kurt says, "I like to do the half at grandma's. It's nice to be able to finish, then have the energy to go cheer people on." Yeah, I remember seeing Kurt at the finish last year. So maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's the move. Maybe I'll do that too. I don't know. Well, I think if my buddy's gonna run it, then I should just go and see if he wants another pacer. I mean, even if he doesn't want a pacer, I mean, I'll just run it with him. We'll see. I don't know. We got to decide. We'll see where he's at. But I was like, I don't know, man. Like, fall marathons are great, but like doing a 20-mile long run in Chicago in August sucks. So it's like, these like a June marathon is great because you start training in March, and it's still cold and it might be snowy, but I'd rather run in snow than run in like, the humidity of Chicago summer. So, yeah. Melvin Eubank says, "I was not so secretly hoping that I made the cut on your race recap video when I realized that the guy who yelled 'nice hat' to me on the course was you." Did I? What did I do? Well, I'm trying to remember when that was. Anytime I saw someone with a hat I recognized, I was like, "Oh, I love your hat." So I saw a lot of Billy Yang hats. I saw a lot of Believe in the Run hats. I saw a couple of Ben Parks hats. So anytime I saw that, I would always like, that's what I would say to people. Be like, "Oh, nice hat. I have the same one, or I have a similar one." So that was good. Scott says, "So who's his buddy? Does he have a name?" He has a name. I did say it in the video, but like he's not on social media. He's weird like that. I don't think he's against it, but it's just not something that appeals to him. So I feel like, if he wants to have a social media presence, then I would use his name or whatever name he wanted. Like Tommy Runs. Like, I don't know Tommy's actual last name. He's told it to me a couple times, but I don't remember it. I just know him as Tommy Runs. So like, whatever you want to be called, that's what I'll call you. And so since he doesn't have like a social media presence, I try not to put him on blast. But yeah, I was like, do you want to be in the video? I can make it so you're not in the video." He's like, "No, I want to. It's okay. I'll be in the video." So I was like, "All right, I'll put you in the video." So, but yeah, until he similarly, like when I see someone on Instagram and it's like if they follow me or whatever, and I'm looking at the profile, if they have a private profile, I won't follow back or request to follow because I might tag you in something then. And if you don't want to be public, then I've just done something that's annoying. So like, if people want to be public, I'm very happy to point people out. If people don't want to be that public, that's cool too. You know, that's kind of my approach of it. Melvin says it was his first time running the Chicago 26.2 and hope I can get into the international lottery again because it's truly an amazing world-class event. Hope for 325, but still managed a 10-minute PB. Awesome. Of 328.22. Amazing. Great job, Melvin. That's a huge improvement. Great job. Will says the Illinois Marathon here in Champaign-Urbana was canceled last year, and this year they are still not having a marathon distance. Oh, no. It's disappointing because it'd be super convenient for me. I was going to, that's one race that I had always been wanting to run. I do like Springfield. I used to have to go there for work from time to time. And there's a couple of like dive pizza places that I really liked. I don't remember their names now. But there was this one place that had these giant calzones that were so good. The place was sketchy though. There was like a bus stop outside, so there was like always like really weird randos like at all times of night, and I would only go there like late at night because of work. Yeah, like I bought a dude dinner one time, and I thought he would just. I don't think I've ever told you guys the story. So I'm at this pizza place, and there's a guy outside. He's like asking me for money, but like, no, but are you hungry? I'll buy you something to eat. And he's like, okay. So I'm thinking we'll go in, I buy him lunch, and then he'll probably leave, But like or dinner, and I buy him dinner, and I buy myself dinner, and I'm sitting down and eating in this place. This would have been a long time ago. This would probably been like 6 or 7 years ago. So I buy him dinner, and I'm thinking he's gonna leave, but instead he grabs his dinner and just sits in the booth next to me, and he just starts chatting me up for like an hour. And he had some just wild, like sometimes incoherent stories, but he just was talking the whole time. So I don't know if it felt behooved to give me company for my dinner because I was eating by myself or what, but a really nice long conversation. It was funny. There were moments where I'm like, is this guy going to kill me later? I'm not sure. Or what, but he seemed like harmless enough. So it was a fun dinner. After that point though, I did take most of my food to go. It was a little bit unnerving. I was like, okay. Here's an interesting observation. Frank says, it's weird that it took so long for people to adopt the AlphaFly over the next percent. And now it seems like it is taking them a long time to go to version 2 over version 1. That is, I hadn't thought of that before. Because you would think that like the Nike fan base would be very quick to adopt like, hey, we made this better. Try this new one. But if they're not, why are they not? Interesting. Very interesting. I got to think about that. I'm going to be thinking about that for a little bit. That's a very, very good point. Rajkumar Rashinji says, just since you mentioned Believe in the Run, in light of your many races coming up, do you have a rotation shoe plan? If so, please speak to it. Thanks. Right now, because I'm going to be doing a lot of marathons in a short amount of time, I'm going to be running in the most cushioned shoes that I can find. For New York, I'm running that with New Balance. So I'll be probably spending a lot of time in the Super Comp Trainer, the More version 4, and also not in the Adidas, and then also the Rebel 3. But also not in the New Balance lineup. I'll probably use the Bondi 8 and the Glide Ride 3, just because those are my most cushioned shoes. As far as workouts, unless they send me an SC Elite 3 early, which I don't know if they are or not, unless they send me one early, I'll probably do most of my workout not in New Balance shoes. So I will probably start looking at the Endorphin Pro 3 for some of those marathon workouts, Metaspeed Sky Plus for workouts. I'll get the AlphaFly 2 at some point. Maybe they'll make another color. I hope that they do. So I could go maybe do something like that. So just to try something, have other shoes to test. I want to run in the Adios Pro 3 some more, but since that's going to be kind of my Boston shoe, I'm going to probably save that till 2023. So that's kind of the plan so far. Carbon plated shoes for workouts, and then super thick stack height shoes for every other day. And then probably 1 day a week on the bike. Going back to how much footage I got of my shoes. Super Engine says, when my 6-year-old watched your Chicago Marathon video, she complained about how often you show your shoes. So according to her, you have ample footage. All right, well, there we go. A lot of times it serves as a little bit of like a transition from like section to section in terms of like the song that's playing or like the mood that's happening from part to part of the course. So that's kind of it. It's a I don't want to say it's a filler, but it's kind of a filler in some respects. Since the lot of other times when I run a marathon, it's very much about the shoe. The shoe is a main character of the story. Today, for the Chicago Marathon video, I really wanted Chicago to be the story and the crowds. And so that's why like there's just a lot more footage of people. And anytime I saw like a band or drums or like anything like that, I tried to cut over on the course, get real close and film it, Adam says, GoPro Hero 11, an accessory pack on sale for $399. Good deal. Is it legit? The GoPro 11 is great. I've been using it. I secretly switched out your GoPro Hero 10 footage for the GoPro Hero 11. But I will say that I think probably no one noticed. I do think that it does a bit better in low light. There's a couple of different other high frame rate options that are available for that camera too. So I think that's useful if you shoot more than 120 frames per second. I usually don't though, so it's not that big of a deal for me. But like the GoPro Hero 11 is great, but if you have a GoPro Hero 10, I'm going to probably make that video in the next week or so. I'm not sure that you need to go get it. I'll probably look back at some last year's Chicago Marathon footage and this year's Chicago Marathon footage to see like how good the stabilization is from year to year, if there's been any real improvements there. But like, I don't really notice a difference between the two. Except for the GoPro 11 seems to be a little bit more battery efficient. That's one thing anecdotally that I've kind of picked up. I took a lot more clips than I normally do for a marathon this year, and I had a lot more battery left at the end of the race than I normally do. So like that was pretty cool. But like the 11's great. If you're like 9 or earlier and you're looking to get a new GoPro, get the 11. If you're at 10, then I don't think you need to get it. So, well, that's pretty much my GoPro Hero video. Yeah, so there's that. I did just get the Osmo Action 3 in the mail today. It finally arrived. So before I start messing around with that camera, though, I'll probably try to get this GoPro Hero 3 video done first, because otherwise then my brain will be too jumbled. But yeah, maybe I'll run New York with the Osmo Action 3. I don't know. I'm nervous about that. Scott says, if I run Chicago again, I want to move my corral up so I don't need to run through sticky streets. Yeah, the aid stations get very sticky because of all the Gatorade that gets spilled. But the way I see it is, that stickiness, it's just extra grip and traction, so it's good for you. But it is a little bit unnerving because then you just really feel it. All right, let's do a couple more and then I got to get going for today. Oh, man, I'm way behind you guys in the chat. Sorry about that. I'm way behind. Oh, man. Brian Free says, what was it like meeting Kara Goucher and what were those bean things you were trying? I don't think I have any down here. Kara Goucher is great. She's super nice and very disarming. And I really enjoyed meeting her. She's like not pretentious at all. Not that I thought or had that impression that she might be, but it's just like, she's a very famous Olympian and a broadcast announcer now. And I'm like this YouTube dude, right? That's trying to make her eat gross food for the purpose of of a video. So it was just like, it could have gone, she would have been within her right to be a little bit kind of like, what is this? But she's a really great sport about it. I think she enjoyed playing the game. She'd played it before. The game is called Bean Boozled. And it's a game that's existed for quite a while now. And what it is every color of jelly bean, there is one of two possible flavors it can be. It could be a good flavor, like pear or fruit or birthday cake or something like that. Or it could be something disgusting, like boogers or barf or fish. And you won't know until you start eating it. And so I was like, when I joined Relay, which is, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a collective of people that are content creators all over the running world space that we all kind of like work together on this one thing called Relay. It's over on Patreon. My thing was, I'm really excited to collaborate and work with everyone else here. And, you know, bring it down a notch because everyone is like really good writers, professional athletes with really great insights and history and experience. And then there's a YouTuber. So I'm like, I'm bringing it down, you know, hard hitting interviews about like favorite kind of cupcake and maybe play some Bean Boozled, you know. And then Kara was like, oh, I've played Bean Boozled before. It's gross, but it's really fun. I'm down. And I was like, awesome. Well, are you going to be in Chicago by any chance? And she's like, yes. And so she was there and Lindsay Hine was there. And I've talked with Lindsay before, but I don't think I'd actually ever met her in person. So it was great to be able to meet both of those people who I respect very much in the running space at the same time. And they were super great about having a little bit of fun and being goofy. So it was a really it was a really fun day for me to be able to do that. So I had a good time. I'll be doing some follow up with them tomorrow. Another thing that I'm doing for Relay. And so we're going to do a little kind of Chicago Marathon recap. So it's been fun to be part of that. I'm not really sure, you know, I had a lot of questions going into it, whether I want to be involved with something that's paywalled. But so far it's made for a lot of fun content and some great people that I met too. So looks like we got Serious Runner in here. Good to see you, Steven. Hope you're doing well. And I think that's going to be it for today. Oh, we had over an hour. So my throat is still getting scratchy. Hopefully by tomorrow, it'll be all completely taken care of. And I'll be completely healthy again. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to try to get the weekend recap video out by tomorrow. But maybe we will, maybe I won't. I'll have to start combing through all that footage. But regardless of whether I do, we'll do another live stream tomorrow, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. So hopefully I'll see you again then. And until then, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.